Pretty sure I'm not the only one that thinks that this month went by fairly quick. I touched 7 books this month. In Flora, I did this page here. I would say most of these pages were done to just relax, so I had no expectations. I just would grab a book off my active bookshelf, select a page, and just go with it. And another thing I did this month is I didn't really select color palettes ahead of time. I just grabbed the Art set for a lot of these and just colored. For this one, I did do some of the Altitude metallic gel pens as well. And that is in Flora. The next book is in Luna, another Maria Trolle book. I kind of rushed it, but I think it came out okay. The shadows probably make him look a little sad, but I think the flowers came out kind of cute, up here anyway. But this was another fast color. I did use some gel pens here on the bubbles. So you'll see that it's a little metallic and shiny there. That was in Luna. And the third book I did with Maria Trolle was in Universe. This is a page I had been wanting to do for so many months, since I got the book really. So I do like the colors. I used Prismacolor Scholars this time, and I think it came out okay. I know that the background, I could have done a lot better, but honestly, I kind of felt satisfied because I do have another page for this dragon in another book. I basically have 2 chances to color it, if that makes sense. If I would have had more time, I think I would have added more shadows. I made my own little flowers out here just based on some of the scribbles I saw. And that's kind of like 2 or 3 tones to kind of make them look like flowers that are kind of throughout the field. I added extra shadow here. I try to make the clouds seem to kind of associate those colors that are in here. And I really do like the way the butterflies came out. Had a little bit of orange and a pop of color. I think it is fine. If I would have spent maybe another 20-40 minutes on it, I would have grabbed the gel pen and added more shadows, and then this, I could always fix this in the future, but in the backdrop I would add either a real Prismacolor pencil instead of the Scholar back here, or I would add a blender pen to kind of smooth it out a little. But for what I had, I think it came out very adorable, and I really like the colors. The next book is in Tales of Atlantis, and this is actually a continuation. I did this page a couple of months ago. Try to do this with the Art color pencils, and I did some metallic pens as well with Altitude metallic pens, but I think this came out fairly decent for not having the Posca acrylic pens in the background. It's close enough in color where it doesn't bother me. But if I ever did revisit it, I would add the liquid pearls to everything that's you kind of see over here. I do think that these little crystals weren't horrible compared to my first crystals I've ever done. That's from Tales from Atlantis. The next page is a 2-page, and this is one that I had been looking at for months, and I kept wanting to do it, and you know what? I decided just to do it, and regardless of the coloring supplies that I wanted to use. I did this with Art and more of the Altitude metallic gel pens. I know that I could use a blender pen and stuff, but I was very surprised. I actually used a little bit of Brute Fooner on the background to kind of blend it with a different darkish blue, and it blended so well with the Arts. So right here you could see that it doesn't look as good as here. I did add a couple of different colors there, but I think it came out as interesting as it can get for me for what I wanted to do. One of the areas that I really had fun though was adding like this light green color on the bottom of here and then mixing it with like a copperish color. And then through here I kind of just added white Posca pen here and stuff. So I think it was a fun color regardless of it not being what I first imagined for it. I think my issue is once I figure out a backdrop, I realized that everything I wanted to do was too dark, so I had to make it as light as I could, and so the greenish color in certain spots made it interesting for me. So this is in that book. So we have 2 more coloring books, and if you haven't already, please be sure to click like on this video if you find any of these pages interesting. The next 2 pages are fairly average. They were more about relaxing, and this is one of the pages that I wasn't really excited about using the Swooken Arts with. I think I did add a little bit of metallic around these just to make them pop a little, but the birds did not turn out the way I wanted. They kind of have like a flat look. I did end up using a dark blue from Brute Fooner because Swooken Art didn't have that deep dark color in the set. Even so, but it is my first parrot. I think it is my first parrot coloring. The other thing that I realized is that I'm not sure I'm a big fan of using gray in the background. I think really it's all about the shadows. If I would have took black gel pens on certain areas, maybe it would have been a little bit more interesting, but I didn't like the red color that I was using for the Swooken Arts, and I think that kind of shows. If I revisited this or if I redid it, I think the backdrop would be a different color, yellow or something to kind of brighten it up. I think it was a good attempt, and I did learn quite a few things from this. I did also enjoy using like a dark blue on this tealish green color. It makes a very pretty color. Well, there's this page. I would say the Swooken Art doesn't like that paper nearly as much as some of these other pages. The last page was a very relaxing color. I really enjoyed this one as well. I think the big thing that I learned coloring in this particular book is that it does a lot better when you start adding background first. I do know a lot of books are like that, but in this particular book, if it looks daunting, I started with the backdrop. I did add like a lavender-ish color in here, like a really light layer, just to kind of give it a little depth to make them white, while also make them kind of interesting. But I really enjoyed this one. Very relaxing. One thing I didn't do in June was plan out a coloring challenge. And I realized I didn't have much time because I was doing a lot of decluttering, and so I think a lot of my energy went into that. But thankfully I was able to color in 7 different coloring books. Well, I hope you found some of these pages as interesting as I did. Thanks for watching.